All right, everybody, Rob Ferretti here, and you know me. I'm a guy who likes having cars, not necessarily the biggest guy when it comes to cleaning them and keeping them clean. Now, some of you guys who are astute may have noticed like this. I don't know, let's see if I can get this properly. You see the residue? Well, that's because I was using Orange Clean, that magical cleaner, to try to clean the stuff off my car. Now, I just had this car painted over at Jay's garage, and we redid the whole front end because I had a rock chip, actually conveniently very close to where this was. There was a rock chip right there about the size of a dime, so I decided to repaint the whole front end over the winter. Well, after that, I parked it under a tree at my house for a long time, and a bunch of sap fell on it. So that was a problem, and it was pretty dingy. It was pretty nasty. You can even see some sap here still. Let's see if we can get that. You see the sap mark? So anyway, I used the Orange Clean, being like, oh, maybe it'll take it off. Well, it didn't, but before I did that, I went over to a hand wash, and I'm a guy, and I've even rolled this thing through like a regular roller thing. If it fits, it chips for me. So if it can fit over the rail and you're not dragging the undercarriage of the car on the rail, I send it through a standard car wash. So I brought it to a hand car wash, and they saw like, wow, this thing is filthy. So they're power washing it. They do that extra something because they see this car has been sitting under a tree for a while or something. But then they did that thing that made me nervous, but I don't want to tell somebody how to do their job, and then they screwed up my car. And as I said, this was just painted. You can still see some sap here, but if you look closely, you'll see here, 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 and there. The dude was trying to be helpful. It's like the manager of the car wash came out, and he's out there with a razor blade. And you've seen it. You've seen these professional detailers. They'll use a spray wax and then a razor blade to take off some imperfections and everything like that. I know he meant well, but he totally scratched the shit out of my car. And so we got here, 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 and here. So now I'm going to have to buff the whole thing out. Honestly, I mean, with the sap on it, it was probably going to need a detail anyway, but this is not something you want to try at home. Don't take a razor blade to your car, even if it had swirl marks, even if it was one of those cars that there's other ways to remove sap from cars. Now, one of those ways is right here. Goo Gone. These are the wipes. With some good old-fashioned elbow grease, we'll take most of the stuff off, and then you could just do some finishing detailer on it. But this removes sticky, gummy, gooey problems. And it's funny, it says citrus power. It's the same stuff that I tried on the car but didn't do anything. There's bug and tar remover. There's a bunch of things that you can try specifically designed to remove tree sap, bugs, all bug residue and everything like that. But it'll avoid situations like this. Now, even here, this is pretty bad because whatever was here, burned into the clear coat. I couldn't get it off. So this does need a full, paint correction. It's got the super clear on this car. So, I mean, self-healing, but self-healing's not going to do anything when you hit it with a razor blade and leave, bird poop and tar. I don't want to say pine tar. It's the wrong thing. It's baseball. But you should probably take care of your cars a little bit more than I do. But ultimately, it should have been in the garage, but the mower was in the garage, so I left it outside. And now it's time to breathe a little life back into it. But this is something you don't want to do. I mean, again, I'm a guy. I don't this guy owns the car wash. He's trying to do me a solid. The car is pretty filthy. But don't do that to your own car. Don't use a razor blade on your car. A razor blade is sharp. So unless you're an expert, and even these experts, I'm sure they've tried on crappy surfaces. They do. They test out stuff on crappy surfaces. They intentionally burn through paint to figure out where that threshold is till they get to that expert thing. But you can't give a katana blade to a kid and say, here, now be a ninja. So that's essentially what you got. And my hood is now, it's sad because it was repainted literally a couple of months ago. But just word for the wise. If you want to remove, you know what? If you have this stuff on your car, it's worth $150. Go get a full detail on it. If you've parked it outside for long enough that it's accumulated that much tar and tree sap and everything like that, bring it to a professional. Pay them for a full detail. They'll clay bar it. They'll cut it down. They'll do everything you need. I'm not talking about a full paint correction, but just that $150 super detail. They'll get that stuff off. If they don't get that stuff off, bring it back, and they will. That's what you're paying for $150. But I guess it's better than renting a place to park your car. I don't know. I shouldn't have parked it under a tree. I know. But we did, and now I've got to spend the money on a detail to fix my hood. There's your word from the wise. This video was not sponsored by Guggen or Orange Clean or the car wash that screwed up my hood. But just a tip on what not to do to prevent your car from looking like that. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. For those of you not familiar with my other company, I started a company called Adventure Drives, which combines driving and bucket list travel. It's a lot of fun. If you're interested, prices can be done per person. Don't worry if you don't have somebody to go with you, we can match you up with somebody. You can check the link in the description for adventuredrives.com and sign up today.